I have almond flour and I wanted to make something easy and quick, so I made these amaretto chocolate biscuit cookies. I'm starting with 150 grams of blanched almonds and 100 grams of sugar, but I'm only adding half to the dry mixture and then just blending everything together. Don't worry about the sifting, we'll do that later. Egg whites. 2 egg whites and cream of tartar. This will help the egg white to stabilize. It says 1/8 teaspoon per egg white. I'm using 2 egg whites, so 1/4 teaspoon of tartar is what I'm gonna need for this one, and then just whisk it until it has a soft peak. This will take a little while, and I like to rotate my bowl instead of going back and forth with my mixer. I feel like they're just easier because I'm kind of lazy, and it just made me think that back a couple hundred years ago they didn't have electric hand whisker and they had to do this manually. I'm just so thankful that we live in this century and we have this whisker. Here's the remaining of the sugar. I'm gonna add it to my egg whites partially, so a little bit, and then whisk until it kind of melts, dissolves, and then add a little bit more and whisk again and add a little bit more until the sugar is all gone. Have to add almond extract. I'm adding about half teaspoon because the blanched almond flour is not enough to get the almondy marzipan flavor. 1 tablespoon of cacao powder to my dry ingredients. I'm just gonna sift this through so there's no chocolate lumps in it, but I'm gonna sift it again into my egg whites when everything here is evenly distributed. And then I'm gonna sift partially into the egg whites, so about a quarter, and then gently fold it in because we don't want to ruin the texture of the egg whites. There's a lot of air incorporated in it, that's why it's so fluffy, but if you whisk too much it can all fall. So quarterly it should be enough, and then gently just fold it in. Beautiful. And again another quarter, just sift it in and then redo it until it's all incorporated. And I'm gonna bake this at 325 for about 12 to 15 minutes. But first, piping the dough, because we're gonna pipe it just like a macaron. It's actually very similar to a macaron, but I think it's less liquidy. Here I have a macaron baking sheet, and it's actually perfect because this helps me to know the exact sizing I need to pipe out. It doesn't have to be perfect on the top because I'm gonna stick a sliced almond on the part where it's kind of sticking up, so it's not gonna look, well, like that. So a piece of shaved almond on top and goes into the oven. When it's done, it's gonna be pretty much like a macaron texture, but it didn't rise like a macaron because I did not dry the top. Like with macarons, you have to dry the top before baking. I'm placing them on a cooling rack so it can chill and cool on the bottom too, and it's like a little bit crunchy on the outside but still very moist and chewy on the inside. These were delicious, and it's so dangerous because it's so easy to eat and you're eating a handful and it's almost gone. I kept snacking on one. I'm like, I cannot wait until this cools down, and then I ended up eating a bunch before remembering that I have to take a video of how it looks at the end, all dried up. It's super easy, very delicious, and it's so cheap to make. Enjoy.